If you said to me, what's a model Purdue student athlete, I think this guy is it, really. I mean, he's just kind of been that guy.
Thanks, Coach.
Adam, thank you so much for joining us on This Is Purdue. We're thrilled to have you. I know our listeners and viewers are excited to talk to you as well or hear from you. When did you first hear about Purdue? Let's kick it off with your Purdue journey. What made you want to come here?
So my family has always been Purdue fans, and my dad has a sod farm and a grain farm. So with Purdue having a big agriculture tie, that was always a big portion of it for me. And the golf course is here phenomenal, and I was recruited to play golf here, so that's a big reason that I came here as well. Close to home, but far enough away where I still feel like I got a good college experience. So had a great experience, but overall just a great university, and it just made sense for me.
And where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Vincennes, Indiana.
Okay. So your golf career while playing at Purdue was fantastic. Do you have any particular moments that really stick out for you?
So I would say the first tournament we played in was Turning Stone in New York. And I made the squad, went, and we were in the final day, and we ended up winning. But during the final round, I remember playing, for more than myself. That was the first time that I wasn't playing, as an individual. I was playing for the team, for the university. And we had the Block P logo on our golf ball, and every time I would tee up, a shot on the tee, I would always put the Purdue logo on top. That way I kind of remember, that I was playing for something bigger than myself. And we ended up winning the tournament, and the van ride back, the flight back, it was really fun to celebrate it with teammates, because I'd never won anything before, as a team. So That was very exciting for me.
That's awesome. What are you most proud of during your Purdue career?
That's a good question. I guess ultimately the golfer that I became, the person that I became, the teammates that I, have lifelong friendships with now, just the journey, so much more than, the destination. But yeah, so many good things have come from Purdue, and it's bettered me in so many ways. So I owe a lot of that to, my time at Purdue and just the different experiences that I was able to have here.
And walk us through, when you weren't playing golf. I'm sure that took up a lot of your time here, but what would you like to do as a Purdue student outside of golf?
So we all lived together. We had a ping pong table, so during the winter we would study a little bit on it, and then we played a lot of ping pong. So one of my best friends, Stuart McDonald, we played so much, and a couple hours a day at least. We go to Mollenkoff and throw the Frisbee around. The team workouts, which were really hard, and struggling through those together, feeling like they were never going to end. Those, looking back on those, they weren't always fun in the moment, but very fond memories of just hanging out with teammates. And, the fraternity for me, without being in a fraternity, was just the other athletes that we were able to make friends with. And we'd go over to the tennis house, the baseball house, the volleyball house, and just those, more friendships that you make. And I still talk to, several of the people still today.
What else would you like to do at Purdue? Did you have certain study places you liked, certain restaurants that kind of bring you back that nostalgia?
That's a good question. So Triple X, obviously, it's staple. We'd study at Cranit and Rawls Hall, and we'd at the Breeze Center. That's where we received our tutoring, which I needed a lot of help, but that was so helpful to be able to have tutors, help us out in athletics. I didn't drink coffee in college, which is a huge mistake, because I probably would have been a better student. I didn't find out about it until afterwards, or I didn't like it. I like a lot of cream and sugar, but I wish I would have done that. But mostly just studying at Cranit and Rawls, and a little bit and a lot in the Breeze Center as well, especially as a freshman.
Tell us about your major.
So I majored in business management. I think I had a concentration in finance. I should know that, but I don't exactly know. Haven't had to use it quite yet, but it was hard. I mean, we missed not a lot of school, but a good amount. And, scheduling with your professors, I'm going to miss this quiz, this test. Can I take it early? Can I take it later? And a lot of times they were always helpful, but you'd have to take it, a week early or 4 days early. And that was, something that a little bit of adversity you had to face and get through. And I wasn't a bad student. I had like a 3.1, but just how hard I had to work at some point to, to even get a B in a class was pretty eye-opening. How difficult some of the Purdue classes could be.
That balance between academics and athletics, right? Did you always feel supported when it came to, that Boilermaker journey of the sports versus, the schooling aspect?
I did. The teachers were great at helping us. The tutors we received, the Breeze Center I know Drew Brees has done a hell of a lot for this university. Great football player, even better person, and very supported. Anything you needed, the resources were there. To get help, you just had to, seek them out and put in some effort, and you were likely to succeed.
What is it like for you to come back and play with this golf team?
It means a lot. I don't know as many of the guys as well as I would like to, but it's fun to come back and, help them with different things they might be struggling with, or talk through them, freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors, because I've been through everything they're most likely going through. So if there's any little advice I can give them, I'm happy to help, or just to be a friend to them and just to play golf and coming out and be with the boys. So it's like being back on the college team without all the other stuff that goes on. But it's something that I cherish, and it's 3 hours from home, so I come up 5 or 6 times a year at least, and it's very special getting back and playing these golf courses, because that helps me to get ready to compete. For example, last year I came up for the U.S. Open for 2 or 3 days and played, and then ended up going and playing well at Brookline. So I would attribute the Purdue facilities a lot to allowing me to be able to be prepared.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said that you come back with your wife for football games, basketball games. What does that Boilermaker spirit mean to you when it comes to this athletics world?
Yeah, I love it. Love the university. Purdue people are just really proud. There's really proud alumni base, and like on the golf course, on the PGA Tour, all the time I'll see, Purdue hats, Purdue sweatshirts, Boiler Up, this, all over the place. And it's really cool to be a part of that, spirit, and to embody it, work hard, never give up, the Boilermaker way. And I think that's something that I try and do every day, and I don't succeed at it every day, but if I try and put, 3 or 4 or 5 good days together, then that's how you can, hopefully build something that can last.
Yeah, I love that. You and Coach Bradley have a really unique relationship. You played under him at Purdue here, but now he's also your professional instructor when you go on tour. Tell us about that relationship and what that means to you.
Yeah, it's grown. I remember the first time we met was on the back range. I was getting ready to go to the USAM, and he, helped me with a few things before I took off. But we talk probably every day, probably 2 or 3 times a day.
Wow.
One of my best friends, so it helps in my golf game a lot. And I talk to him a lot about golf course management, but more so we're probably better friends, and just a really good person to have in my life that keeps me on the straight and narrow. He tells me the truth about something if I need to hear it. I'll tell him the truth about something if he needs to hear it. He may not like it, I may not like it, but like someone that can help hold you accountable, I think is a pretty, good friend and a unique relationship to have, because I can tell him something that he doesn't want to hear, and I might be wrong, and he can tell me a lot of things that I don't want to hear, and he's generally always right. But sometimes I am too, and sometimes he needs to hear something, and it's just a really beneficial relationship to have for me and him, I think.
It's like having a really honest friend when you need it.
It is, yeah. They're not scared to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite Purdue traditions?
Well, Breakfast Club comes to mind. Sliding down Slater Hill, maybe,
Yeah.
on like the lunch trays. We had 2 snow days my freshman year, which is the first snow days they've had in a long time. I don't know exactly how long it's been,
Yeah.
but it'd been forever. And I didn't walk under the bell tower. Still took 4.5 to graduate, so I guess that's less than 5. But running through the fountain, that was another one that
Yeah.
we did during Boiler Gold Rush.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's still a thing. Maybe it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
Fountain
it is.
runs, yeah.
Fountain runs, so we did that. So those are a few that come to mind.
When you talk about your professional career, your career here at Purdue, you've, gone through a lot. You've had to show a lot of persistence. What does that word persistence mean to you as a professional athlete now?
That's a really good question. So try and keep my answer somewhat short, but persistence, it's similar to a Boilermaker. It's not giving up, always working hard, putting your best foot forward. But I think where I've learned a little bit with persistence is you're always trying to continually improve yourself. And if the saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And sometimes you do just need to keep working hard and putting one foot in front of the other. But like in my profession and the way I see my golf game, I'm always looking for ways to improve, small little ways. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be a complete wheel reinvention, but persistence to me is understanding that failure is okay. And it's stinks. Pain hurts, but pain is a great teacher. And when you're continually trying to learn, better yourself at home, in your professional life, on the course, like, that is a tenacity and something that you can, attribute to most people's success, rather than most people think of persistence. Just keep going forward and keep trying. And it is, but failure is a great teacher, and understanding that sometimes good and great isn't enough, and you're gonna fail. And pain is a great teacher, like I said, and that's okay. But when you're continually improving yourself, you're gonna get to where you need to go.
That's great. So getting into your pro career, you're traveling a ton. People are asking for autographs and photos. Have you gotten used to that yet?
A little bit. I have to deal with it a whole lot less than like a Roy McIlroy, for instance. And that's a bad word to say, deal with it. It's a great thing to do to inspire a lot of young fans, sign autographs, and just generally just being a good person. If there's 100 people there, just sign the autographs, take the 10 minutes. And most everybody on the PGA Tour, almost everybody, if not all, do it. And it's a great way, a very small, easy way to give back to the game that's given, so much to me.
When you're in these big tournaments and you're more and more successful, every year, do you ever notice like the crowds and the cameras and all the people around you, and how do you deal with that? Because golf is such a mental game, right?
It is. So maybe a two-part answer. I used to hate playing and practicing myself. I hated it. I love when there's a crowd, when there's people to entertain, like the buzz, there's an excitement, that's fun. But I've learned to love practicing by myself and going and competing at our golf course at home, Cypress Hills, with my dog Bunker. Every time I go, I take him out. Every time. He doesn't miss one time. So
does he ride in the cart with you?
He rides in the cart with me, he chases squirrels, he does all the stuff. Runs amok, loves it. So I try and make everything a tournament. I have consequences for every shot. I'm just never hitting a shot and not, thinking about the result or thinking where I'm going to miss it. I'm always trying to prepare myself for the tournament. So in doing that, I try and make myself as ready when I can when the bright lights come on. When I'm playing with a big name and made the Tour Championship this year. Playing with Roy McIlroy on Sunday was really cool. Got off to a really nice start. Hold a shot from 115 yards on 3, super bonus, made a long putt on 1. Didn't quite finish it off like I'd like to. Roy came back and beat me by 4 or 5. But to know that I can get in those moments and play well, it's just something to continually improve upon. But I do a pretty good job of focusing on myself. And the bright lights are there, the cameras are there, but if you don't take care of your own business and, play good golf and worry about yourself, you're most likely not going to play well, and the bright lights aren't going to be there for very long. So it's cool. Fans are awesome. They make it so much fun, but it's important you can use that stuff, just enjoy it, but you need to take care of yourself and take care of business in the moment. And the cameras, the lights, all the stuff will be there, afterwards, if that's what you're into.
This question kind of goes along with that, but what is it like playing with these absolute golf legends? I mean, at first, were you starstruck, or was it just like you were saying, where you kind of have to ignore all that and play for yourself?
A little bit. I'd met Roy before, and he's such a nice guy. He's not overly intimidating, but he's obviously so good at golf, and he had a little back injury on the Wednesday before, so he wasn't able to hit shots he normally hits his driver quite as far as he does, but he was still hitting it 20 yards by me. And just to see how he handled himself with getting off to a pretty poor start for his standards, I'm always learning something from him or another big name that I might be playing with, but it's cool. My first year on tour, a little more starstruck, and it's very cool when you're around the big names, but you want to become one of those big names. They're your colleagues, you're with them all the time, so you do get more of a normalcy being around a lot of the stars in the game. But your goal is to become one of them, to beat them. So at the same time, it is cool. But I wanted to beat Rory on Sunday, and that was my goal. And got off to a great start, and I thought I was going to do it, and then he got me by a lot in the end. So something to push me to be a little better for next year.
Yeah, you've called 2023 a life-changing year. What do you mean by that? How has everything changed for you?
Well, I have 2 full years exempt on tour. Next year, I'm in all the majors, all the signature events, I think they call them. So that's nice to be able to set my schedule. I get to go to Augusta National and play the Masters. So I'm very excited about that. That's gonna be really cool. I don't know if it's sunk in yet, but once you start seeing the Masters commercials this spring or late in the winter, it'll start to get more real. So hopefully I can make it down and play a couple times before Augusta. But just to see, a lot of hard work come together for 5 or 6 years, the process that I've been building with Coach and my caddy. It's been a long time coming, and it's just nice. It's nice when a plan comes together, because in golf I feel like it doesn't. Every week I play and try and win, and I've never won. So in a sense, every week's been a failure. But it's hard to look at it like that in golf. But next year I would love to not get the monkey off my back. If I never win, that's okay. But that's my number one goal going forward, is to win next year and to perform better in the majors.
What is something you're looking forward to the most in Masters?
The Masters, yeah, hands down.
What does that mean to you to play at Augusta?
Just all the memories of seeing it on TV, and finally getting to go there and play the par 3 course, and my wife will caddy for me. My son AJ will hopefully be walking by then. Maybe, if he's not great, he'll be crawling around. But to see all the different golfers before me that have had those experiences, and then you have the lifelong pictures and memories. So that'll be something that I will cherish forever, and to go compete in the majors. I'm there to win the Masters, to compete. I might not win, who knows? I think there's been 1 or 2 first-time winners. Fuzzy Zoeller comes to mind, but it's very cool to have a set schedule, to be in the signatures, to be in the majors. But now it's time. What's next? It's time to go, compete and try and get up in the mix in a major, which I've never done before. So that's what I'm very much so looking forward to as well.
What would you say your most memorable experience was with the 2023 season?
Oof, that's a good question. 2 come to mind. The Valspar, where I finished second, being in a playoff at Charles Schwab, got extremely close to winning again, didn't quite get it done. Emiliano got me. I made a putt, maybe 20 feet for par on 18 at the FedEx St. Jude Championship in Memphis, and that was to ultimately get me in Eastlake. And if I wouldn't have made that putt, and then I don't know what I would have needed to finish at the BMW the next week, but to make that putt it might be the most timely putt of my career to have fall in. So that was, very fond memories of that looking back. I knew it was a big deal to make it. I didn't know how big a deal, but it turns out it was everything. So that could have been the putt that got me in the Masters. So it was like winning.
Wow.
Without winning.
What is it? So I just started golfing 2 years ago. What is it like when you're not playing well? How do you turn that around?
Honestly, a lot of times you have to wait for next week because I missed the cut. So if nothing great's happening, you aren't making any putts, if you're just not on your game, you're playing against the best in the world in the PGA Tour. And it can be really hard to compete. It can be hard to make the cut. So when that's happening, it's important to, first off, not throw the baby out with the bathwater. You're a great golfer. You're on the PGA Tour for a reason. Yep. You might need to fix a few things. It might just be the different grass you're playing on. You traveled from East Coast to West Coast. You didn't sleep right. Your back hurt. Something has changed, and it's just a small thing you need to get back to, a standard of what you are as a golfer. So understanding that it's not always going to be perfect is a big part of handling failure, knowing that everyone's going to go through it, and you're not alone. If you're feeling a certain type of way, or you're having a certain, set of experiences, you're not the only one. Understanding that if I was looking at myself, you're not special. You are a golfer on the PGA Tour. You're incredibly talented, but you're going to go through a lot of good golf, a lot of bad golf, right. But you're not special. You're not exempt from any pain.
So you have a longtime friendship with fellow Boilermaker Tyler Duncan. How did you guys meet and strike up this friendship? I understand it's a long friendship.
It is. We got a lot of stories. I played with Tyler at state finals. I think he went to Columbus North. I was at South Knox. I was a freshman. He was a junior. He shot 64, 8 under, 7 under. I shot 3 under. And that was when we first met. I didn't realize that was actually Tyler Duncan. A couple years later, we were coming to be teammates at Purdue. I was a freshman. He was a junior again. And took me under his wing. He was great to me. I'd always go over. He lived with Eric Johnston, Henry Plager. I think it was just those 3. And I was over at their apartment all the time. And we just, all became good friends, and Scott Bush was in there as well, and Eddie Peters. So we just hung out all the time, and obviously we were with each other on the golf course, off the golf course, living together. So that's how, that friendship struck up, and we've been good friends ever since. He was in my wedding, I was in his.
Okay. Does he ever come watch you play?
Tyler's on the PGA Tour as well. So we've both played the PGA Tour for 6 years in a row. So that's been extremely fortunate for, I'm assuming, me and him to have, a great friend for 6 years, because, he could have played 3 and I could have played 3 and we could have, maybe overlapped for a couple years, but, this is 6 years, hopefully next year 7, and many years, beyond that.
Oh, that's even more special. See,
no, that's fine. They didn't tell you that. And Tyler won 2 or 3 years ago. So I don't know if he's the first Boilermaker to win on the PGA Tour.
Okay.
I don't know that, but he's played the Masters, so hopefully he can give me some tips.
I'll research if he was the first one to win. That's awesome. So your family is very important to you. You told us about Bunker. What a great dog name. And you have a new son named AJ. What does all the media attention, mean to you and your wife, Courtney, when they're, showing your baby and talking about your family and how you went to Purdue and everything? What does that mean to you all as a family?
It means a lot just to be able to travel together, and my wife is such a rock star, and she makes it so easy on me and AJ, and to be fair, AJ makes it really easy on us. He's been such a good baby. He's been sleeping through the night, and I shouldn't say this out loud to all the parents out there that don't have such great luck with sleeping babies, but he slept through the night since he's 5 weeks old, and he's 5 months old now. Having them with me, being able to share those experiences, the pictures we take looking back even from 2 months ago, just, we did this week. I can't believe how little AJ was. Being able to share that with them makes the entire experience.
What do you think the best advice you've ever received for your golf game is? And was it from Coach Bradley?
Oh, it was not. Well, he's given me a lot of good advice, but it was probably when I was growing up. I used to take some lessons from Nick Bianco in Indianapolis somewhere. We went to a bunch of courses, but he told me, you've got a canvas, you got a blank white canvas. It's your picture to paint, and you do it your way and don't do anybody else's. That way, when you look back, if you fail, if you succeed, whatever, take all the advice you want, pick and choose, but make it your own. This is your canvas. This is your golf career. Do with it what you want to do and build it how you want to build it. That way, there's never any regrets and any excuses. You're taking full accountability in your golf game and your life. So that's kind of how I look at a lot of things. I'm a little more hard-headed than most, which is, a blessing and a curse in golf. Very stubborn in my ways. And Coach knows that and knows how to coach me with knowing that's one of my, I don't want to say it's a shortcoming, but knowing that that's the way I am.
That's great advice. So there's a lot of, I'm sure, Monday morning quarterback going on when people are watching golf. What should the recreational golfer know about what it takes to be a pro golfer? What would you say?
Ooh, I would say that it's all relative, but for the amount of work and effort we put in, we still play really, really bad golf sometimes too. So our bad golf might be 72 to 73, 4 or 5, or sometimes it's 80. And understanding that it's just a hard game. They don't get to play it all the time. So when they go shoot a 70 or a 75 or an 80, whatever a great score might be for them, it's just probably not going to happen all the time. So if you shoot a 75 and that's pretty good for you, and you shoot an 80 the next day, why is this happening? I don't know why I can't play good every time. Well, there's a reason I can't shoot 66 every time, or else I would be the Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus.
Right.
So just as a guy I follow on Twitter, Lou, I forget his last name, but his hashtag is always manage your expectations. So I would say manage your expectations.
I love that. What role would you say Purdue has had on your life?
A lot. It's given me all the experience that I've had, for 4 years to better develop my golfing career, help me grow up as, from, coming as a young boy, starting to turn into a man, and the competition we played against, the courses, the phenomenal schedule, also as well as the, the academics, which were pretty strenuous for me, maybe not for everybody, but I kind of had a pretty well-rounded experience, and whether golf wouldn't have worked out, I still had a great education to fall back on. And that's one thing that I will always, be thankful for Purdue. And a little bit harder in golf in the winter, but you get the 4 seasons. You still travel south a lot in the winter, which is helpful. There's a beautiful facility here that the golf team gets to use. And all those things, it really allowed me to just become, the person I am today.
I love that. Well, we're going to pull Coach Bradley in.
Perfect.
Coach Bradley, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We heard a lot of fun stories from Adam, so we want to get your take too.
Okay, great.
What has it been like for you, watching Adam play here at Purdue and then go on to this incredible professional career?
Yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. We obviously it's like a goal of mine to help our players get to the PGA Tour, and then I find a ton of enjoyment being part of their journey. Whether it's mini tours or Canadian Tour, or, whatever it might be. But then obviously, when guys can make it to the PGA Tour, it's pretty special. It's pretty special for Purdue. It's special for our program, for
Right.
me as a coach. Yeah, it's been really fun.
Did you know right away when you met Adam that he had the potential to go on and have this pro career?
I think he does. He does a lot of things that he has a lot of characteristics of a PGA Tour player, right? He hits it really far, he putts really well. So I think when you have guys kind of with those characteristics, you always know there's a chance, but it's obviously kind of a long shot to make it to the PGA Tour. There's not very many players out there, so I think going in, it's hard to really say, okay, if somebody is a can't miss player for the PGA Tour, unless that they're just winning all the time when they play in college, things like that. But I knew with Adam, with his length, the way he putts it, the way he's generally plays well when he's in contention, things like that. Those are all really good starting points for sure.
And Adam told us one of his favorite memories from his time playing at Purdue. Do you have any favorite memories from his time at Purdue and then his time, playing professionally?
I think while he was playing at Purdue, kind of my first year really getting to know everybody. When we go to Puerto Rico, it's always an amazing event for our players generally. Weather's pretty cold here in February, so leaving and being able to go with the guys to Puerto Rico. Adam had a chance to win there. I kind of remember him, finishing up. I think he finished up maybe on the fourth hole there. And ended up falling short by a shot, but it's a really good field. He was competing against the best players in the country and didn't win, but but came close. And obviously when you see events like that, you start going, okay, this guy's competing against the best college players in the country. He's definitely got a chance to make it. But we had a lot of fun times. Adam's always worked really hard on his game. There was a lot of times where I'd come back here maybe to the golf course at night, and Adam would still be on the back range practicing, and we would spend some time together back there just trying to help him and show him some things. So
What's it like, for the players when he comes back and plays? I know you all are playing this afternoon.
yeah, I mean, obviously their goal is to play on the PGA Tour. I think it's special for them to be able to know, okay, we can do this. We've got two guys right now that have had a lot of success on tour. It's a bit of a fight on who's going to play with Adam when he comes back, and they're all trying to decide who's going to get to be in the group, and it's so much fun for them. I mean, they follow just like I do, or like the other coaches do. When Adam's playing well and in contention, we're always obviously watching very closely. So for him to be able to come back and talk to the guys and kind of let them know, like, hey guys, you can do this too. So yeah, it's pretty special for sure.
What does it mean to you as the leader of this Purdue men's golf team that your players are making it to this PGA level?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously, that's a goal. I think having guys come in and it's what we're being at Purdue, we're lucky, right? The athletic department gives us tons of resources to be able to get things done. And my goal as a coach is to go, hey, how can I get these guys to the PGA Tour? We've added a strength coach that works specifically with them, and we have phenomenal facilities, and Purdue has just been great about giving us the resources to be able to help those players get to the PGA Tour. So we're really lucky. Our athletes are really lucky to be able to I'm sure if you took the people that that Adam was paying or that other tour players were paying, whether it's strength coaches and instructors, nutritionists, all these different things. I think you're putting a lot of your time and money into these resources, and Purdue is doing that for you when you're here. So, it's definitely a great situation to be in, for sure.
And you and Adam have a unique relationship. We touched on it earlier, but what has it been like going from his collegiate coach, to his instructor on tour?
I think I was thinking about that a little bit the last few days. For me, it's not really different than how it is with our players. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I just want him to be successful, and I want to be able to help him in any way that I can. So whether it is, with our players, whether they have an instructor or whether I help them, it's my job just to come alongside them and maybe talk through things with their golf swing, talk through ideas that they have, talk through ideas that their instructors have, and be able to help them process those things, help them put them into play. And that's basically what I do with Adam. I think day in and day out on tour, it's not like I'm standing on the range with him saying, hey, do this and do that. It's much more of, he'll say to me, hey, I've been thinking about this, with my grip. I've been thinking about this with my golf swing. What do you think that's going to produce? And we'll just talk through those things. But Adam's on the PGA Tour because of Adam. He's a hardworking guy that knows what he wants to do with his game, that knows, has had a great progression where he's getting better every year and learning the golf courses and doing all that. I'm just there to help him in any way that I can to kind of, improve upon what he's doing.
Yeah, Adam said that you talk multiple times a day, and you're, you guys are friends. You have a great relationship. He said you give him really honest advice. So is there any type of feedback that you can remember that you want to share with us?
We've always had, funny things on the road. I'm very honest with him. He's honest with me. We had a really funny conversation in Detroit on the putting green, after we finished, where, we were talking about his game, and, he was kind of arguing with me. I was arguing back with him, and I was like, it's okay, Adam. If you want to keep finishing 40th every week on the PGA Tour, you just keep doing what you're doing. And then he came back at me a little bit, and by the time we went home, I think both of us had skipped dinner and came into the house, and his wife's going, "What's wrong with you guys?" but we, at the end of the day, it's always constructive, and we can. We can talk through things and get there. One of the things I love about Adam, he's a really competitive person, but he's also very thoughtful. And so as a coach, knowing that somebody's going to put in the work, but kind of have that, relationship with you it's pretty awesome.
And you've been coaching at Purdue for over a decade. What is this Boilermaker spirit between athletics, the fans, the education that you can get at Purdue? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's really a special place. I generally think of Boilermakers as hardworking and, gritty and just, people that are willing to roll their sleeves up and get to work. And I love it about this place. I think that, Adam is a true Boilermaker. He's always gotten, a ton out of his ability. He's always worked really hard, grew up on a farm in Indiana, always been, that type of kid. I think if you said to me, what's a model Purdue student athlete, I think this guy is it, really. He's just kind of been that guy.
I love that.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, what's something that our listeners and viewers on YouTube would be surprised to know about Adam?
Gosh, surprised to know about Adam. I think that, if you see him on tour, obviously a fairly good looking guy, kind of put together and stuff. But the fact that he grew up on a farm and is that type of kid, we'll have conversations about, what he's going to do after golf. And I'll kind of actually joke around with him, about being on a tractor and, having a beer belly and all of that stuff. And I just think, overall, just what a good kid, guy's guy, just somebody that super friendly and all that stuff. You don't really necessarily see that in somebody when they're playing golf at a high level like he's playing, battling to win the tour championship or whatever that might be. But he's no different than, the guys on our team or our coaching staff or whatever. He can come back here and blend right in just like anybody else, or going to a Purdue football game and sitting out in the crowd with everybody and having a great time. I think is kind of what he's all about, and it's kind of what we're all about as a program too. So
I love that. Okay, I have a question for both of you. What would your next giant leap, what would you say that would be? And it can be personally or professionally.
I mean, I think for me, professionally, winning a Big Ten championship at Purdue, it's been way too long since we've done that, and I feel like our team is continuing to get better and better, and I'm continuing to learn as a coach. So that's something that's super important to me, competing to win a national championship. I really feel like that we have the resources and courses here, to be able to, continue to get better and compete at that level. And, it's something that is, super important to me, obviously, continuing to be a part of our players, lives after college is important to me. And, being part of like Adam's journey has been really awesome. So
For me, would just be winning personally would be my next step on the PGA Tour, and also helping coach win a Big Ten championship, win a national championship, compete for a national championship, make match play, all those. There's steps through a progression that a golf program makes, and he's had a lot of good teams, and he's getting closer. And like Coach said, always continuing to learn and how to make his players better. And I think that's something Coach does really well. And if I can play a small part in helping the team win a Big Ten championship, that's what I want to do, because I like helping people more than I like playing golf. And I don't always get the opportunity to do that, because golf is the most selfish sport in the world. It's a team event, once a year, the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup. So that for me is one thing that I want to help make happen soon.
Amazing. Why are you proud to be a Boilermaker?
I just think there's so many things that Purdue has going for it, with, the administration here has been awesome, and the facilities, the spirit, the different teams, love going to football games, basketball games. There's just so many different things about Purdue that I love. I heard Tim House say it to some recruits this morning, like it's really easy to sell something that you believe in. And, that's probably the easiest thing for me about being at Purdue is, being able to talk to recruits and believing so much about, what we're doing here and the resources that they have available to them. It's such an easy sell.
Exactly what he said. But there's just so much opportunity, and there was a lot of opportunity when I was here. I would say there's even more opportunity now. And I think Coach was a big part of that. And I wish that I could come back and do it all over again, to be honest. So I could go back to 17 or 18-year-old Adam. I would do the experience again. Maybe I'd do a couple things a little differently, but I had such a good time with the golf team. That was my fraternity, and we had so much fun. And as I mentioned, it's so much more about the journey as opposed to the destination. Once you get to a destination, it feels good to maybe, they win a Big Ten championship. Awesome. That's, it's been too long. They're going to get it done. And once you get there, it's like, okay, what do we do next? Well, the fun and the enjoyment was in the process of getting there. And then ultimately getting there is really fun. But the most enjoyment that you'll take out of that is getting, enjoying the process, not necessarily the final destination. But yeah, just a great place to learn, to grow, and just very thankful that I came here and get to come back.
Absolutely. Well, we can't thank you enough for your time, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.